All right. We are back at St. Simon's Elementary for a video update after taking a week off for July 4th. Didn't come down here from Augusta on July 4th because I was celebrating with my family. But we are back and we have gotten a lot done. I'm starting things off as I always do on the interior of the campus. You can see that things are looking a lot neater here. If we walk over to where we were working on our storm drainage, you'll see that we've got our flume poured into place and all of our windows are substantially in the building. And the only thing that we lack right now is a little bit of trim work. So you can see that really good over here where we've got all of our glass in, and all we need to do is put in our sill flashing, which goes down here. This is rubber gaskets for our glass, but we got to get a piece of trim that goes in here and then as well at our mullions in all of our windows. That's going to be the case for all of our windows on the building. You can see that we got our flume in and all of our site concrete is now finished. But most importantly, what we have achieved in the 10 days since I've been gone is our protective walkway covering that serves from our gymnasium to our admin and ultimately will be where parents drop off and pick up their students. So that's what's going on the interior of the campus. If we walk over here to the teacher dining, you'll see that we have made some strides forward over there as well. So give me just a second and I'll get over there and we'll talk about it. All right, walking from the interior of our campus to our bus access road and over to our teacher dining area, you can see that our brick veneer has been established as well as our equipment pads poured for our HVAC equipment. That's what you see over there is those concrete equipment pads where air conditioning units will be installed. We've got all of our power disconnects in over there to serve those air conditioning units. And then here at our teacher dining where we did our air barrier and we've done our brick veneer, we now need to install our metal stud framing that will go here and then receive its EIFS finish. That's the back of the house. If we walk over here to our cafeteria, you can see that it's storming. You can see that our brick veneer has continued over there as well, but you will note that we've got some scaffolding. And so I'm going to take a second to talk about this scaffolding because it is a huge step forward for us on this project. You've heard me talk time and time again about our wooden trusses that were compromised in the existing structure here that we were to install a new roof on. These scaffoldings have been in place on the side of the building as well as in the interior to act as a dance platform for our roofers to begin the roof truss replacement. And so I'm going to walk in here and show you just in a second what the Baker scaffolding looks like in our cafeteria, and then I'll hop out on the outside and we'll look at what our roofers have been doing with their crane. So give me just a second. All right, walking into our cafeteria, you can see all of this scaffolding that has been put into place to act as a dance floor for us to work off of with our truss replacement. I'll go up this ladder in just a second to show you what that looks like. But what is most notable right now is that this slab that was previously covered by a roof is now soaking wet, and that's because we just had some rain and our roof is partially demolished. So let's hop up this ladder and take a look at exactly what we've got going on up here from an interior point of view, and then we'll hop up to the exterior and see what's going on there. This might not be the best view with there being no light up here, but we will see in just a second. All right, you can see the dance floor scaffolding all the way across, as well as all of these existing wood trusses that we've got. Not much to it, but it definitely is going to be very useful to us as we get to setting our new trusses. Let's hop down here now, working down our ladder, and see about getting an outside view of our work. Okay, so again, we're in the interior of the cafeteria. We were over at our bus access road that runs along the building this way towards Ocean Boulevard. We're gonna cut through the cafeteria and basically cut a corner to get out into Ocean Boulevard. If we walk out here, we'll see that we've got our big crane that we've been using to fly in our new wooden trusses, as well as remove the existing wooden trusses and the decking. And over here, we've got all of our new wooden trusses on site, as well as one existing wood truss that has been demolished. And you can see that we mirrored exactly what they were. This is old, and this is new. Looks almost exactly the same, except where the craftsmanship of the trusses is better. And because of that, we've got stronger connections. One reason that we couldn't use these existing wooden trusses is because the bolts to fasten this together were too small for the load that we were going to imply to them. So here's what you get. If you're standing on Ocean Boulevard looking into our building right now, you can see where that existing roof has been demolished right there, and we've got a temporary flashing over to help protect as much of the building as we can, because we've got finished products right here in the kitchen that we finished in November of last year. And that's what we've got going on. So that's Ocean Boulevard. Now we can hop over here and hop up onto the roof to show you what this thing looks like. Hopefully we can get a good view with that temporary cover in place. Worst case scenario, we can pull it back. Actually, we cannot hop up there because we don't have a ladder. So we might have to save that for tomorrow, or plug in a video from earlier today if I ended up saving one. Let's see. All right, I did not have a video from earlier, and I did not have a ladder, but I remembered that we have this scaffolding over here at our bus loop side, so we can just hop up here and then hop up onto a roof to give you guys a look as to what we've got going on. I'm gonna put you in my pocket as we hop up this ladder real quick, so give me just a second. All right, here we go. We have hopped up our ladder here, and now we can get onto our scaffolding platform, and then we can, with my long legs, hop up onto our existing roof. Let's give it the old college effort here. All right, so here's what we got. If you remember early on in this project, what our existing condition was for this roof was a sheet metal A-framed roof that was really green and ugly, and is just not what we wanted to stick with. And so after we removed that metal roof, we wanted to piggyback off of this existing system. However, whenever it was uncovered to us, we realized that it had settled and it was actually sloping negatively for what we wanted in our drainage. And you can see that perfectly here with the rain that we had just a while ago. Water is pooling here. You don't want that on a roof. And because of that, as well as the existing composition of this roof, we elected to just hopefully demolish it and install our new wooden trusses that can support the loads that we want to imply on it. And so if you stand up over here, you get the opposite view of what we were just looking at, which is wooden trusses down there, existing truss that we demoed right next to it, our crane, and then this is our temporary protection of roofing that we have installed for the work that we performed thus far. Giving you some insight to our sequence of work, what we are doing is not just ripping off this entire structure, not the structure, but the roof at once. And the reason for that is it is integral to the existing structure. This thing's 28 feet tall, and because of that, you wouldn't want the masonry walls all freestanding being so tall. without the trusses in place to brace them. So what we're doing instead is we're going to take 2 or 3 trusses out at a time, as well as the decking, then fly in their replacement, deck it, sheathe it, move on to the next section. Do the same thing, rinse and repeat until we get all the way done. And then once we get all the way done, we'll install our new PVC roof membrane. So that's what's going on the interior of the campus, at the back of the house and the teacher dining. You can actually see that really well here, how this video has progressed. We started off on the interior of the campus where that walking track is. Then we walked around underneath our admin building to the back of the house, which is this teacher dining. And then we walked underneath me through the cafeteria to get over to Ocean Boulevard. That is the brick that we were just talking about a minute ago. Then we walked over here, then underneath our cafeteria and out to Ocean. It's called Ocean Boulevard because if you look, right there's the Ocean Boulevard a block away. All right, so that's what's going on with interior of the campus at the teacher dining and our cafeteria. Let's go hop over towards the interior of our classrooms, see what progress we've made there, and then we'll jump towards our little work area here where we're doing a little bit more drainage and also have set some mechanical units. 1 second. Okay, we have made it towards the interior of our classrooms, and this is our big goal to finish before school opens back up so that they can occupy this space. We're confident that we can do it, but we do have a lot left to go, as you can see. I mean, we've got 3 work weeks left, and this thing looks nowhere near close to being finished. Knock on wood, you know, we're gonna make it. For good luck there. Knock on wood, we're gonna make it. It's gonna take a lot of coordination, but you know, this is what we do. We build schools. And so what we have worked on in the past week is a couple things. One, we've gotten in our door frames. You can see that. And we've gotten in our window trim at our windows. You can't really see that here because it blends so well with the wall, but these are beauty trim caps as well as a valance up at the top. And so we've gotten all that installed. What you see here in front of me is our our toe base for all of our cabinetry, which will go there, and then for our cubbies along this wall. That's one thing that we're working on. Our casework guy will be here tomorrow. First thing that we'll have him do is put some cabinetry in our gang bathrooms so that our plumber, who is going to be on site Thursday as well, can get started setting toilets, urinals, and then putting the fixtures onto the sinks that our cabinetry man is going to install. The other thing that's high priority for us right now is getting all of our ceiling grid in. We are definitely delayed on our ceiling grid, and that is something that we've been raising Cain about needing to get done. And you can see that those guys have made do with the manpower that they have by dropping all of these lights and then trying to do things like establish your perimeter angle so that when they do get more labor forces on site, they can just knock it out easy peasy. That is the big things that we've had going on site in the last 10 days. Over the next 10 days, we're going to make a ton of strides forward. We'll finish our ceiling grid in the corridors. Our millwork will get started in our bathrooms and in our classrooms. Our plumbing fixtures will get started, and we will also start our prep work for our flooring. That's what we've got going on the interior of our classrooms. Okay, leaving our classrooms, the last thing for us to talk about is what we've done on the east side of our campus, which is our Ocean Boulevard side. And one thing that we have definitely accomplished is we have completed our rough carpentry for our new canopy. Looks really good. Our man Jorge knocked it out the park. Now we need to get our new PVC roof installed on it, as well as our sheet metal for our eave, rough in our lights for underneath, and then install our tongue and groove soffit. In the meantime, we'll keep busy on doing our rough carpentry over at our other canopy, which is, you know, out of commission right now because we've got a big ass crane working over it. And I'm just going to pause for a second in this video to really highlight that crane, because golly, that thing is tough. And if if we take a second further, you can really see where we have started our demolition. That right there is a new replacement truss, and then that white plastic is just temporary over those trusses to try and keep water out as best we can. That will continue as we work our way down. Okay, last thing to talk about this week is the fact that we've got our air conditioning equipment set into place, wired up, ready to be fired up. And that is critical for us as we think about things like casework coming onto site. So just a second to talk about that. You can see that our servicemen's tent blew over in the storm. I guess they didn't have time to get that up before they got rained out. But nonetheless, we've got our equipment pad poured, and we also have our 2 pieces of equipment installed on it. The other thing that we've got going on this side of the site is we are installing our roof drip edge drainage, which you can see is laid the foundation for of the gravel base, and we've got all of our CMU block as well as our piping to go within it, ready to be installed into place. That will go all the way from that corner of the building along down to that corner of the building. All right, that's what we've got going on at St. Simon's Elementary. Check in next week for another update.